Hello everyone. I welcome you all to this next lecture of Dynamics of Machine. And in this lecture, we'll be discussing about, we'll be starting the first unit of Dynamics of Machine, that is Dynamics of Engine Mechanism. Okay. So in Dynamics of Engine Mechanism, we'll be studying about the motion related data of various parts of IC engine, that is piston, connecting rod, etc. Okay. So let's start with that. All right. So as you know that piston, we can do kinematic analysis of slider crank mechanism. Also, this SCM stands for slider crank mechanism. Okay. So kinematic analysis can be done uh, by these two methods. That is, graphical approach can be used, and also analytical approach can be used. Right. Uh, Case of dynamics of slider crank mechanism, approximate analysis and exact analysis. These are the two approaches. In case of exact and approximate analysis, only the mass of piston is considered. And in exact analysis, the mass of piston and connecting rod both are considered. All right. So let's start with kinematics of piston. So in kinematics, as you have already seen in theory of machines, you might have studied this line diagram of slider crank mechanism. Okay. So this big part is link number 1. This uh, link AB is the crank. This crank is of radius r. Is crank is rotating with angular velocity omega. Okay, in clockwise direction. And at some instant, it is making angle theta with this horizontal line. All right. And also this crank is link number 2. This AB is crank and crank is link number 2. Then this BC is nothing but connecting rod. Connecting rod is of length L, and also this is link number 3. All right. And at some instant when this crank is making angle theta, this connecting rod is making angle beta with the horizontal. All right. And this C is the piston. This block you can see is the piston, and this is link number 4. All right. So this you have already studied, that this is one simple first inversion of slider crank mechanism, in which link number 1 is fixed and rest other are in motion. All right. So let me remove this. To study kinematics means determining the motion related data. What is motion related data? Displacement, velocity, acceleration, and so on. Okay. So we are studying displacement of piston. So piston is over here at point C in this position. Initially, when the piston was at top dead center, you already know top dead center and bottom dead center in an IC engine, right? Top dead center is topmost position of the piston from which it cannot move further, and bottom dead center is the bottommost position of the piston. As piston reciprocates, it has two dead centers. So this IDC and ODC are equivalent to top dead center and bottom dead center respectively. IDC is called as inner dead center and ODC is called as outer dead center. Okay, so this is IDC is equivalent to top dead center, ODC is equivalent to bottom dead center. So when the piston was at top dead center, its position was C dash. right? And at some instant, it has displaced by the value x, and currently it is at position C. Okay, so we are interested to find out this distance x. So when the piston was at C dash, uh, this B point would have been somewhere over here. Okay, and this would have been your R, and this would have been your L. Okay, so we need to find out this distance x. This x can be written as C dash A minus CA. What is C dash A? C dash A is this much distance. This is C dash A. And CA, what is CA? CA is this much distance. This is CA. So if we subtract the distance C dash A, or if we subtract CA from C dash A, we'll get this distance x. Okay, so this is the idea. All right. Okay, so what is C dash A now? C dash A is this much distance when piston was at top dead center or inner dead center. So when the piston was at C dash, your connecting rod was also horizontal and crank was also horizontal. So we can write C dash A as L plus R, right? So this is what is written over here, L plus R. C dash A is L plus R. Now, understand these things very carefully. How CA, now we have to calculate this distance. We have to calculate this distance CA. Okay. And I am naming this point as Z. Z. Okay. And this distance CZ as M, and the distance ZA as N. Now I want to calculate M and N. And once I add them, I will get this total distance as CA. Now to calculate these two values, M and N, I can use triangle, this properties of triangle. Okay. You might be aware with the sine rule. What is sine rule? Let me show you. So the sine rule looks something like this. In a triangle, let me draw. In a triangle, let's say this is a triangle. Okay. Triangle ABC. Triangle ABC. This is angle theta, or let's say this is angle 1. This is angle 2, and this one is angle 3. Pardon my drawing. The mouse, it is very difficult to draw. Anyways, so what does the sine law says? That length, uh, that is the ratio of the length uh, of side of triangle and the sine of angle, the sine of opposite angle are equal. That is, if we say this length AC, okay, so I can write this AC upon this AC. Now, what is the angle opposite to AC? Angle opposite to AC is angle 3. So I can write sine of 3. Sine 3. Okay, will be equals to, what is another side? Another side is AB. I can write it as AB upon, what is the opposite angle to the side AB? Opposite angle is 1. Okay, so I can write here as sine 1. Sine 1. And similarly, I can write what is the remaining side? Remaining side is BC. So I can write is equals to BC upon sine 2. Okay, so this is the sine law. I hope you know this already. So we'll be applying sine law in order to determine these two distances, M and N. All right. Okay. So I can see two triangles. One is triangle BZM. Sorry, BZC. Triangle BZC. Okay. So I know this angle is beta. This angle is 90 degree. All right. So this angle would be 90 minus beta. This angle would be 90 minus beta. All right. This angle is 90 minus beta. So I can use the sine law over here. I can write this L upon sine 90. Sine 90 is 1. L upon sine 90. Okay, and sine 90 is 1 is equals to m upon this angle sine 90 minus beta. Okay, m upon sine 90 minus beta. And what is sine 90 minus beta? It will become cos beta. Okay, cos beta. So what I wanted to calculate, I wanted to know the value of m, and from here I can calculate m is equals to L cos beta. Okay, so this L cos beta is nothing but m. Okay, similarly I can calculate n. What will be the value of n? N will be r cos theta. Okay, I'll using the same uh, concept over here, that is sine law. This is, let me clear this. In this triangle, in triangle BZA, this will be 90 degree. This angle is theta, and this angle would be 90 minus theta. Okay, and this 90 minus theta, from this triangle we'll get as this distance n is equals to r cos theta. Okay, this is n and this is m. So why we are doing this? Because we wanted to calculate this distance CA. Okay, we wanted to calculate this distance CA. CA we divided into two parts, that is m and n, and m and n we determined using sine law, using these two triangles. Okay, all right. So I hope this is clear. Now watch this carefully. Theta is angular displacement of the crank. This theta is the angular displacement of crank, right? Crank is rotating by some angular velocity omega, and theta is its angular distance or angular displacement of the crank. L is length of connecting rod, R is length of crank. Now this ratio N is equals to L by R. Okay, N is nothing but uh, length of connecting rod divided by length of crank. So in standard manufacturing practices, the value of this N is kept between 4 to 6 to get the best output. Okay, so this value varies from 4 to 6, not less than 4, neither less than 6, greater than 6. Okay, so we are replacing this L in terms of N and R. Okay, because this is standard. So we have substituted L. Okay, why we are doing this? Over here you can see this equation. This equation has 4 variables: L, R, beta, and theta. Okay, there are 4 variables. We always try to reduce the number of variables in order to do measurements and calculations in better way. Okay, so we'll try to eliminate this L we'll try to eliminate this L and this beta. Okay, we want to write this entire equation in terms of R and theta. Okay, so the first attempt to eliminate L is write it in terms of R. Okay, so we used this equation n is equals to L by R. So from here L is equals to n into R, and we replace L by n into R. Okay, and over here also L by n into R. So equation became x is equals to nr plus R minus nr cos beta plus R cos theta. Okay, this is equation number 1. Okay, moving forward. Now the next step would be to eliminate this angle beta. Okay, so again we'll be using sine law in triangle ABC. For triangle ABC, we can write as sine theta upon L. Okay, so L and its opposite angle is theta. So sine theta upon L, or you can write reciprocal also, L upon sine theta, but write equivalent value over here. Okay, so sine theta upon L is equals to sine beta upon R. Sine beta and its opposite side is R. Okay, so from here we can write sine beta is equals to R upon L sine theta, and R upon L is nothing but 1 upon n. Sine beta becomes sine theta upon n. Okay, and we'll be using value of sine beta over here. Okay, acha, and this is equation number 2. Then we know this is well known formula, sine square beta plus cos square beta is equals to 1. Cos beta will be under root 1 minus sine square beta, or cos beta will be 1 minus sine square theta upon n square. We replace this sine beta is equals to sine theta by n over here. Okay, since it was sine square beta, it became sine square theta upon n square. Now we have taken n outside, so it becomes cos beta is equals to 1 upon n under root of n square minus sine square theta. Now we will be using this value of cos beta. We'll be using this value of cos beta and put it in equation number 1. What was equation number 1? This is equation number 1. Okay, so we'll be replacing this cos beta by what value? 1 upon n under root of n square minus sine square theta. So when you write the equation and rearrange it, it becomes displacement is equals to, or x is equals to R n plus 1 within the brackets under root of n square minus sine square theta plus cos theta. Okay, so let's name this as equation number A. All right, so this is the equation for position of crank or displacement of crank. So at any given instant when the IC engine is running, at any given instant, if you have the value of theta, okay, if you have the value of theta, you can determine the position of the crank from its top dead center. Okay, we only need to know this value theta. This n is constant, and this R will also be known to us because crank radius would be given to us. Definitely crank radius would be known to us. Okay, so we have only two variables. Instead of variables, I'll say as unknown, that is R and theta. So if you know these two values, R would be given to you in the question itself, and theta would be given to you by the help of T theta diagram. Okay, that we'll discuss in the further classes. So this theta, we know if we are able to determine the value of theta, then at that instant we can determine the position of the piston. All right. Okay, so I hope this is clear to you. Forward. Now, since this equation is very giant, it is difficult to remember. So we are making some approximation. How? We have rewritten this equation, x is equals to R n plus 1 under root n square minus sine square theta plus cos theta. Okay, Now consider this. We know that the value of n, its maximum value is 6. Why? Because we saw over here that this is the standard uh, for standard manufacturing practices. This n is kept between 4 to 6. So its maximum value can go up to 6, right? So this we have taken. And sine theta, you already know that sine theta varies from 0 to 1. Sine 0 is 0 and sine 90 is 1. Then again its graph uh, falls back to 0. That is sine 180 is 0, right? So the maximum value of sine theta can be 1. So we have substituted these values. We are trying to eliminate, or we are trying to reduce this thing. Okay. Uh, it becomes under root of 6 square minus 1, which is 36 minus 1 under root of 35. And value of under root 35 is very close to under root 36. What is under root 36? It is 6. And under root 35, you can calculate, it comes very near to 6. Or it can be taken equivalent to under root 36. All right. So we can, by this approximation, we can say that the value of n square minus sine square theta would be equivalent to value of under root n square itself, and under root n square is n. Okay, so this thing we have replaced, this entire thing we have replaced by n. Okay, this thing we have replaced by n. All right, so the equation, this big equation is reduced to, this big equation is reduced to x is equals to r n plus 1 minus n plus cos theta. This under root n square minus sin square theta is replaced by n. So it becomes n plus cos theta. Okay. So we can use this equation also, okay, to determine the displacement of crank. All right. Okay, I hope this is clear to you. Now, this equation you might have seen, x is equals to r 1 minus cos theta, or x is equals to r 1 minus sin theta. Okay, this is nothing but equation of simple harmonic motion. What is simple harmonic motion? It is a motion executed by various physical or various mechanical components. Right. So this is very important. This question sometimes is asked in the interview also. The interviewer might ask, when will IC engine or the piston will execute the simple harmonic motion? Okay, when the piston will execute simple harmonic motion. So its answer is simple. If connecting rod, this CR is connecting rod. Okay, if connecting rod is long enough, the value of n will be high. The piston will execute a simple harmonic motion. Okay. So how? Because this n and n will get cancelled, and you get x is equals to r 1 minus cos theta. Okay. Once you open this bracket, this positive n and negative n will get cancelled, and this will become x is equals to r 1 minus cos theta. So our this big equation got reduced. This equation got reduced to x is equals to r 1 minus cos theta. All right. So this is nothing but equation of simple harmonic motion. So if the value of n is high, what was n? N was ratio of connecting rod to crank. Okay. When the value of n is high, the piston will execute simple harmonic motion. Okay. So I hope this is clear to you. All right. So we have done the kinematics of piston, that is displacement of piston. Okay. Let's talk about in kinematic part only. Let's talk about velocity of piston. So you know that velocity is represented by, if displacement is represented by x, the velocity will be represented by x dash. And what is meant by x dash? It is nothing but derivative of displacement in with respect to time, right? So we know that velocity is distance travel displacement done within a particular time frame, right? So that is velocity. So we do not have direct time related data. So what we can do is we can write dx, this dx by dt is equals to dx by d theta into d theta by dt. Now this d theta by dt is nothing but angular velocity. Why? Because theta is angular displacement, and angular displacement divided by time will give angular velocity. It is equivalent to linear distance also. Linear distance divided by time will give you linear velocity. Similarly, angular displacement is theta, and uh, angular displacement divided by time will give you angular velocity. So we can write this linear velocity of piston is equals to dx by d theta into d theta by dt, and this dt becomes omega. Okay, so this we have the value of x, displacement value we already determined in this equation A. Okay, so we'll keep this value of x in this equation, that is d theta by dt of this entire value x. This is x within the big brackets, r n plus 1 under root n square minus sin square theta plus cos theta multiplied by this d theta by dt, and d theta by dt is replaced by omega. Okay, so I hope this equation is clear to you. Now we will differentiate all these terms with respect to theta. Okay, so r is outside n plus 1, there is no theta term, so it will become 0. Once you differentiate this value, that is n square minus sin square theta, so you will get 2 sin theta cos theta upon 2 under root of n square minus sin square theta. Okay, and differentiation of cos theta is sin theta. All right, so this will get multiplied by omega. All right, further when you simplify this equation, you will get 2 sin theta, and this minus and minus will become plus. 2 sin theta cos theta is nothing but sin 2 theta, and uh, this denominator is same, 2 under root n square minus sin square theta plus sin theta. So this display value of velocity, or the equation of velocity, is x dot is equals to r omega. This omega came forward, r omega sin 2 theta minus 2 under root n square plus n square minus sin square theta plus sin theta. Okay, I think here there will be a negative sign because this minus will be multiplied. So I think there here it will be a negative sign. So how will we do the approximation? This n square again will uh, we will eliminate this value or replace this value by n. So we will get x dash is equals to r omega sin theta plus sin 2 theta by 2n. Okay, this is the exact velocity. From this equation we'll get the exact velocity, and by doing approximation we'll get the approximate velocity of piston. Okay, so it will become r omega sin theta plus sin 2 theta by 2n. All right, now similarly acceleration of piston, it is denoted by x double dash. It will be d by dt of velocity. When we derive velocity with respect to time, when we do the derivation of no sorry differentiation of when we will differentiate velocity with respect to time, we'll get acceleration. Again we'll do this in this fashion, that dx by d theta, doing the partial differentiation, dx by d theta into d theta by dt. D theta by dt is again omega. Okay, again we'll keep the value of x dash. What is the value of x dash? That is r omega is equals to sin theta plus sin 2 theta by 2n. All right, r omega, and this entire value is x dash within the curly brackets and multiplied by omega. Okay, So once you will solve and simplify it, you will get x double dash, that is acceleration, is equals to r omega square cos theta plus cos 2 theta by n. Okay. So these are the three equation which will be required while doing the kinematic analysis of piston. Okay. We have done the kinematics of piston. All right. So I hope this is clear to you, and I'll stop my class over here. Thank you, everyone.